Okay, so we had our first major break. Steering arm connects up in there. Ordered the parts apart. I'm gonna be here, take a while to get here, but I was gonna go ahead and try to rig it up anyway. I'm not sure. Not a real good candidate, but I might be able to use my new magic trick, which is using that moldable plastic. This stuff comes in these little pellets, heated up in water, comes out as all sticks together, and then you can shape it to whatever you want. Then when it cools down, it gets hard. It's thin, has a little bit of flexibility, but as you get thicker pieces, it comes, it's a little more rigid. Even that still flexes, but ball out of it that you cannot squash it. On concrete, it bounces and doesn't chip or anything, so it's real tough. This is good for plastic parts in general, I think. I don't know how thick it has to be rigid enough for that, but once you get it wider, I'm thinking it gets as wide as that, it would be about as rigid as that. Okay, so here's a thicker chunk, and I can't flex that at all. So I actually used it to make a little piece I was repairing on the Savage. I put on new, I may have made a video for this too that I haven't edited yet. Oops. Put on these new wheel cups and whatever the hell those are called. But there are these little white sleeves where the pins go through that, the name's escaping me right now, what I was calling them, tiny little tube, basically, tube inside of a tube. So I made one. I just figured out that the original had an inside diameter of whatever this drill bit here is. So I got some of that, melted it down and then wrapped it around, kept squeezing it to get it about the right thickness and trimmed the ends off, and I kind of made one end a little bigger so it doesn't slip through the hole like the original, and it looked like crap, but it fit in there and it functioned. So this is whenever you can't get a part, you can just make your own. It's not as fancy as a 3D printer, but it's the same concept. You just have to be a little artistic. You have to reheat it. If it gets too hard and you didn't do it right, you could just heat it up again and keep shaping it. Once you get it to where you think it's pretty good and you don't want to screw it up, then you can put it in some cool water, a fan, or something to cool it down quicker, so it doesn't distort on you before it sets. It doesn't take long at all. It's like minutes. Alright, so I'm just gonna run this camera while I'm disassembling this guy. later when I'm looking for all the screws and stuff, note that they're all right there. 2, 4, 6, 10. Okay. So that's attached. One screw there, one screw there, 2 there. Okay, goes all the way through, straight through. There's no bolt on the other side, it just goes into the plastic. So this one, the tie rod thingy, I'm going to put it there. So we're clear on what's going on here. This in here, and on top, screw goes through, and the other side. Oops. You can see that or not. That's the piece. The other part of it's on the steering rod over here. Ta-da! We are back in business. I just glued that thing with some super glue and a little bit of JB Weld. Let's see if I can see where it. That's where it's broken, where it connects to the little arm bar there. So you can't even hardly tell. It's a little shiny now because it has a spray WD-40 at it, but good to go. So we'll super glue. While I was in there, I fixed this. This was split. It kept slipping out because this is actually a circle and the screw goes down through it, but it breaks and this thing comes off. So I clamped it and glued that as well, and then put it back in and screwed it back down. So I think we're good for now. I got those parts on order. I got pretty much all of these things here. All the plastic, I don't know if I got the guards or not. I think I could make my own. I got the arms, this piece here. I don't know if I got those, or maybe I did. I think I got this whole kit, whole steering kit thing. And in the back, same thing. I may have picked up a skid plate or two. A bunch of screws. Did not get that steering piece, but I probably should. It's a servo connector thing. We got 2 more 3S batteries coming in, and a new top. My shell is getting destroyed. There we go. The back got crunched down really bad the last couple of runs. Front's hanging in there. These corners I had sprayed with Flex Seal just to give them a little bit of durability. That actually looks like it's kind of helped. It looks kind of gross and dirty itself, but at least underneath it's not damaged. There we go. Today we are replacing the steering rack. It broke. That one guy right there snapped off. I glued it and it worked for a little while, but then broke it again. And that connects to the steering arms to the servo and whatnot. And it happens to be a kind of semi-major support for the wheel. So if you land on one wheel and it torques it too much, it can break. It took quite a bit to get there, though. I had many runs with all kinds of crazy landings, and once it happens, it happens. So we're going to replace it. You would think that you can just kind of slide it through. No dice. You can get it through one way, but it's not the way you need it, and then you can't flip it over once it's in there. And if you try to go the other way, you can't go in. So without taking more pieces off. So kind of the easiest way, I think, is just to remove this panel here, and then you can drop straight down. If I recall. So, yeah. Alright. As you see now, so this is the loose one. The other side was the one attached to the servo arm. So it just anchors to the other side here. So we're looking at that. And then we're anchoring this piece now to this arm, and then attach that to there. And we're done. This is the only piece I'm not sure about. I don't know if it's supposed to go this way or that way. There's like a ring you can see there, so that's why I think that it goes here. And that's also where the nut rests up against, so it won't dig into the plastic. That's my theory. Sticking with it. Hard part is threading the screw from the other side. As in the earlier segment there, which I may not show because I was cussing a lot. But maybe this one will go a little better. Very awkward. There's a hole through the chassis where you have to access, and then it's recessed, so once you get it in, you can't grab it anymore, so you have to have something to poke it with to get it far enough to go through here. And there's no threading in any of it until you get the nut on. Going from the top, you can't see what you're doing. Well, I think that sounds enough. These, easy, just go straight through, and they do have threading at the bottom, and you don't have to use the nut. Crank it down too hard, usually it just barely pokes through. That's where I got the other ones. Alright, and that's that. Should be done. Just put the wheel back on. Beauty. Those are the holes I was talking about to go down into there. You have to line up that piece. On both sides. Kind of tricky, but that's all it is.